Greetings, sports fans, and welcome back to the Breath of Fresh Air Webcast on YouTube. I am Charles Taylor, and I got Patrick Brackett with me again. What's up, Patrick?
What's up, everybody?
All right, well, in this edition, this is our baseball preview. A few days late, I know, it's okay. We had a lot of stuff going on in both of our lives, but we are here to discuss who we think will win the divisions, who we think will get the wild cards, who we think will be in the World Series, and who we think will win it all. So let's get right to it, Patrick. Let's start with the American League, since the champion came out of the American League this year or last year in the Kansas City Royals. So let's start with the American League East Division. And to me, like I said, I think this is the toughest division to pick in terms of who we think is going to win. So jump on it first, man. Who you got winning and why?
Well, I got Boston. I got Boston coming out of this. Division. Potent lineup, man. Strong pitching, and one of the biggest things that I think is going to surprise a lot of people is this closing staff that Boston has. I think this team is probably going to take this division, and I'm not going to say they're going to handle this division by no means. Like you said, this is probably one of the toughest divisions in all of baseball right now. But I would say I got Boston taking this probably by 6 or 7 games.
Man, I don't like how this is starting, Patrick, because I'm agreeing with you.
You don't like how most webcasts start, then, do you?
Yeah, I know. Nah, but yeah, I do agree. I have Boston coming out to picking up David Price solidifies that pitching staff a lot. And so it's kind of like what we were talking about with the Texas Rangers last year when they got Cole Hamels in that trade deadline, and it kind of settled down the rest of the rotation, kind of defined the roles a little bit more. I think that's what's going to happen with Boston. And the lineup, like you mentioned before, David Ortiz's last season, I think he's going to be poised to going out with the big year. If Dustin Pedroia can stay healthy, and if they can get Hanley Ramirez, who's supposed to be the next big thing for 5 years now, but just kind of come up short with that. If they can get a good Hanley Ramirez, yeah, Boston's lineup is as potent as anybody else's. But with some of the moves they made, I like Boston too, definitely. I think it'll be a little bit closer than 6 or 7 games. I'll go about 3 or 4 because I said, man, those teams pretty good, man. Baltimore, the Yankees, as much as I don't like the Yankees, but they stay packed and they have a lot. They have some good young pitching also, so I have to give them that. And Tampa Bay's gonna grind and grind and grind like always. Toronto, they can score. We know they can score, but
yeah,
pitching took a hit by losing David Price, and they also lost Mark Burley.
Yeah. Well, you also, with like you were saying, this man, come on, dude. This pitching staff is probably it's close to one of the best, man. I mean, look, they got Price in the off seasons. They still got Clay Buchholz. And dude, they got Kimbrel now, dude. I mean, this, like I said, this team is going to be hard to hit on this year. And some of the players they made, man, I got dude 6, man, 6.
Yeah, Craig Kimbrel, getting him in that rotation, dude. That's pretty much 40 saves right off the bat right there. So, yeah. Well, let's make a check mark, Patrick. Boston. On that division. Well, all right. Well, we'll definitely come back to talking about some of the divisions when we come back to the wild cards. But let's get to the AL Central. Who do you have winning that?
No, this is a no-brainer. This is like one of the only no-brainers. Well, there's 2 no-brainers. There's one in the NL. This is a no-brainer, dude. Kansas City Royals, dude.
Another check mark?
Yeah, you got it. Pack that shit up. Send it
I'm
out.
agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you again. Shit. All right. Oh, oops. Beep. Censor button.
Yep.
But
Leave that to me. But Kansas City, man, potent lineup, pitching. They dude, nothing changed. Nothing changed. This is your World Series champs, man. Proven otherwise, man. You got to roll with them. Kansas City Royals.
yeah. Uh, you remember last year when we were talking about the Royals and we wanted to see if they could sustain this. You know, they made the run 2 years ago. They got defeated by the Giants in the World Series, Game 7 at that. And we wanted to see how they would come back. And they came back, and it looked bleak for a second. They were on the verge of getting eliminated in the divisional series by the Astros. And they came back in that Game 4 in Houston and did not look back after that. They were able to carry it on through and get a World Series. All those guys returned. They got some better pitching. Yeah, Kansas City is looking pretty nasty, bad. And if they keep this core together,
The only question I would have about Kansas City is closing. Their closing pitchers. If these guys can, because you know how it is, man. You know, closing pitchers, they rule one season and then they suck the next. That would be my question mark with Kansas City. I don't think it's going to be a problem winning the division, but if they can take that title home again, that's going to be a huge factor. My personal opinion, if they're going to make this World Series run for a second straight season, they're going to have to go out and get a closer. Other than that, they don't need anything else.
And real quick, man, those other teams in the division, I think they're at least a year away from seriously competing. Minnesota, good young talent. Cleveland has some good young talent, and the White Sox have some good young talent. I think they still have to develop a little bit more, which is why I don't see them really challenging Kansas City and Detroit, who has been a perennial power in that division. I just think they're on the way down. They really didn't improve themselves, and they're aging.
Yeah, they're aging, but that's the problem. They don't have any money to do any major renovations there. I mean, they're kind of stuck where they're at with all those big contracts that they had. So yeah, I feel they're on the way down. I got Kansas City handling this division. I wouldn't be surprised if they won this division by 14 games at all.
I have about 9 or 10 myself, and I think Kansas City will win this going away. So, all right, another check mark. We're agreeing. I don't know, Patrick. We might have to scrap this show a little bit earlier if we keep agreeing. But
I can tell you, we're probably going to agree on the next division too.
Yeah, we might, man. The AL West. Who do you have winning that one?
Dude, this team right here, man. They made the best trades last year. We talked about this in the webcast. Probably about what trade deadline. Texas Rangers, man. I mean, I got them winning this. I got them winning this division. I mean, Houston's gonna make a run. You said that they could probably win about 90 games. I don't see them winning 90 games, but I got Texas winning this, and this team right here, they're going to be, personal opinion again, they're going to be the central focal point on trades this year. They got a nasty farm system, and
Best in the league,
getting better. So I got the Texas Rangers.
Another check mark. Yeah. Yeah, I have the Rangers winning the division too. Another thing also, Patrick, they're supposed to get Yu Darvish back in May or June. So you get him and Cole Hamels in the same rotation. That's looking like what the Dodgers had with Greinke and Kershaw.
Except for they got a supporting cast to go behind that. So
yep, that's true. With Derek Holland and those other guys. Yeah, I have Texas winning the division. I think Houston can definitely make some noise. I said, okay, yeah, I think they can win 95, 90, not 95, 90 games. I think they win probably within the vicinity between 85 and 90. But I like what Houston's doing with that youth down there. Seattle is another interesting team because if Robinson Cano can come up and put together a year where he can get around 35, 40 home runs, that might elevate the rest of the lineup. And with Nelson Cruz in that lineup also, that that could become pretty potent with them. And then they got Felix Hernandez in the starting rotation. So Seattle can be dangerous. The Angels, no, they're just Mike Trout and everybody else. And Oakland, I think the money ball,
They're playing money ball, man.
Yeah.
And I think it's catching up.
Yeah. I mean, they just don't have the people.
Yeah, they don't. I just don't think they have the. I don't think they have the management to handle money ball anymore. Bean's gone. You know what I'm saying? So get another method. Come up with some money. Sell some hoes or something. Get some more money and maybe try it next year. But you might as well go ahead and chalk it up. And the Angels, they're only one run better than San Diego, and they suck.
Yeah, the Angels, man. Again, it's Mike Trout and everybody else. That's all it is. They just have Mike Trout. Albert Pujols is in and out of the lineup. And then the rest, they didn't make any improvements really in their lineup anywhere. It was a surprise. They were close to winning the division last year. I don't see that this year. I think they are going down. I think Houston will be the second place team in there. Seattle, I'm thinking they should get third. I think Anaheim's the fourth best team in this division.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I got Houston winning 80, 85 games. And you'll see why here when I pick my wild card. But Seattle, I mean, they got a potential. They're gonna need to make some trades for a little bit more pitching and probably need to alter that lineup a little bit. First of all, I don't like Nelson Cruz batting cleanup. That's just I don't like that.
You don't like that? Why not?
No, I don't like that.
Why not?
I just don't think he's a cleanup batter. I think they need to get a cleanup batter. That's going to be something. They need to get some pitching and a bat, like a prolific bat to put in that cleanup. I don't like Nelson Cruz hitting my cleanup.
Patrick, this might be our first disagreement here. I kind of like him in the cleanup role because him batting behind Robinson Cano in that third spot, he's going to get pitches to hit. And Cruz has been productive pretty much everywhere he's gone. Now, I mean, he had the thing that was going on with the biogenesis scandal where he caught the 50-game suspension, where everybody caught a 50-game suspension. But
I caught a 50-game suspension. I don't even play.
But he's been productive. I remember when he was down here in Texas, very productive batter. Went up to Baltimore, big year in Baltimore. Went out to Seattle, had a good year there in Seattle. So with Robinson Cano batting in that third lineup, and if he is hitting the way he hit here in Texas for this series, 4 home runs in this series, got to keep that up.
Dude, switch Cano and Cruz. Cruz will get more bats.
Yeah, he'll definitely get more bats if he's in the third spot. But
in the third spot because they're not going to want to walk Cruz to get to Cano. I mean, who would? But I mean, I would walk Cano to get to Cruz. You need a prolific. I mean, to me, I just don't like it. I mean, I don't like it.
I hear you, Patrick. I like it, man, because it was proven last year he was going to get some good hits, get some good pitches to hit. So I think if they can keep that up, I do agree with you on this. They probably do need to get another bat, maybe during a trade deadline or something like that, to give those two dudes some help because that is definitely your pop in the lineup.
Now, if that's going to be your pop, I don't like it. I don't like it. If you could go and get a batter, somebody like, quote unquote, Big Poppy, and you put that at number 4, move Nelson Cruz down to 5, Now that would be a nasty lineup right there. And the heart, ooh. But I mean, right now, I mean, with what they have, give or take, I would switch Cano and Cruz and roll with that.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, I think either way, it's pretty effective, man. I see where you're going with it, though. I can see why you don't like Cruz in that cleanup spot. But I mean, I think it works, man, because I think last year it worked pretty well. If they can get one more batter and maybe another pitcher to help Felix Hernandez, Seattle could be very dangerous too. Well, wild cards, Patrick. Now this is gonna be tough to pick for me, but who do you have as your two wild cards?
Well, we obviously know I ain't gonna pick anybody out of the Central. Kansas City's gonna dominate that by 14 games, and I can tell you right now, everybody else is better than that. So, no, personally, like I said, I got Houston winning 80, 85 games. So when I look up and down, man, I got both of the wild cards coming out of the East. I got Baltimore and New York. Um, Baltimore, they have a talent that finally, I've been preaching about it for 4 years, but it finally meshed and it happened last year. So I got Baltimore with the wild card, and the Yankees. Well, they bitch and whine and moan and groan until they get another wild card spot. So now they're going to get there. So Yankees, I got the Yankees getting the second wild card spot. I just don't think anybody else can even come close. I mean, you probably got Houston that will come close. Like I said, but I don't see Houston getting it. Don't get me wrong. With all that said, fans, everybody listening, I hope Houston gets it. I really, truly do, because I can't stand that white and blue pinstripe piece of crap team. That I just can't stand it. And anybody, Charles, you know how I feel about the Yankees anyway. So I got them, but I hope I'm wrong. I hope and pray Houston gets 95 wins.
Well, that again, the AL East is one of those divisions that can go a lot of ways, because I think those teams are pretty closely bunched up in terms of the talent and what they're bringing to the table. Baltimore, I do think will get one of those wild cards, but they could easily miss out too if the Yankees are playing well, and vice versa. But I'll pick Baltimore also to get one of those wild cards. I think Houston will get the other one. I just like the young talent. I mean, they made it there last year, and they pushed the eventual World Series champion to the brink last year.
Mm-hmm.
I like what Houston is coming out with, man. That young talent, young lineup with Jose Altuve in there, and then Dallas Keuchel is your ace. I like what Houston is doing. I think they will be one of the. I think they'll get the other wild card. Now, in the Central, another team to look out for is, I would say, Minnesota. I don't think they're going to get it. I don't.
They can put a string together of wins together and surprise a lot of teams, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I don't think they'll get a wild card. But Minnesota, I mean, they were in the race.
Chicago, look at Chicago. I mean, they added a lot of stuff. I mean, like you said, but I still think they're a year away. They have a lot of meshing to do, and I think they still need to make a few trades to get some bats in there, and possibly maybe another pitcher, a closer for Chicago. And I think Chicago makes some noise, but I agree with you. Minnesota could say something, but I doubt it. I mean, they could. Anybody could. But
Yeah, I mean, they made a pretty good run last year toward it. They just kind of fell apart down the stretch. They kind of caught some losses in a row, and it took them out of the race. But yeah, I have Baltimore and Houston with it, the wild cards. I don't think, because I don't know, man. The Yankees, it's rough. It's tough. That AL East is tough, man. And I guess the big thing why I don't see both of the wild cards coming out of the AL East is because I just think all those teams are just going to beat each other up. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty closely bunched up, and those season series are going to be all highly contested. 10-8, 11-7 type of series. And I see that because of the fact those teams are so closely bunched, I see 88 wins winning that division. I mean, 88 to 90 wins winning that division. And then you'll have the second place team, which we're both saying will be Baltimore. And we, of course, got Boston winning. I think the second place team, Baltimore, probably have about around 85, 86 wins, probably. Yeah. So I just think they're going to beat each other up. And because of that, I think Houston can come out there. And like I said, I think Houston can win about 90 wins or win about 90 games and get that other wild card spot. So, but we'll see. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, that wild card is going to be something to watch. I'm pretty set that the winners of each division, but that wild card is going to be something to watch come down the stretch.
Well, all right, Patrick. Well, let's get on to the National League, and then we'll come back after we talk about the National League and the wild cards for there and make our World Series picks. So let's start with the National League East. Who do you have winning the National League East?
This is that other division I told you it's just a clear win. You know what I'm saying? New York Mets. I mean, they pushed hard last year. They made it to the World Series, and then they really didn't fall apart. They just ran into a team that was just better pitching last year. So I got the Mets. I got the Mets winning. Nationals suck. Marlins, please. Atlanta, my team. They can't even. No, they suck too. I don't even know what Atlanta's doing right now. They might as well sell it. They might as well move Atlanta to LA.
No. They're not reused. No, they're not. No, they are not reused condoms. You can move them to Philly, where they're just tanking. No.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah, we'll agree with that because they're tanking their freaking talent.
Yes.
Let's talk about Philly. Look, fans, you know how I feel about the city of Philly, so let's not even go there. So, no, Mets, man, the Mets. I got the Mets winning division. Strong pitching, dude. I mean, when you got somebody like Bartolo Colon that his fat ass throwing 150 miles an hour, and that control he's got, please, him and Ben Roethlisberger need to lay off the hot dogs, but dude. The pitching is solid. Their closing is solid. Their bats are solid. This team is probably one of your more all-around teams. I got the Mets. Probably pretty handily, too. With 10, 15 games.
Look, man, Bartolo Colon, look, he might make a start every now and again because of his diet, but they're fine without him. They got because you have DeGrom, Syndergaard, and Matt Harvey and Steven Matz. Those are your four starters.
It wouldn't surprise me one bit to watch Bartolo Colon, this would be fantastic because if you remember, Atlanta did this with John Smoltz. They put him at middle relief, which is something that teams don't have anymore. But you put Bartolo Colon at your middle relief to help your closers and to help your starters, dude. Something to fall back on, Bartolo Colon. That would be nasty. I would like to see that happen. Will they do it? Probably not. They'll probably run a 6-pitcher rotation, which is probably the biggest mistake they'll do. But who knows? I mean, I'd like to see him in the middle relief.
Well, another check mark there.
Yeah.
I agree that it's going to be the Mets. I think the Mets are the best team in the division, and I don't even know if it's even that close. I know a lot of people say the Nationals are poised to make some noise, but again, their lineup. Again, man, like they didn't. If Bryce Harper is supposed to be your big bat in the lineup, you have to give him some help. You have to give him some protection. That is not there right now with that Nationals lineup. If they're expecting Jason Worth or Denard Span or any of these other guys to be help, that's not happening. Not to the point, not to that pat. Now, they did pick up the dude from the Mets, Daniel Murphy, I think. So, but Murphy.
That's the best thing the Mets did was get rid of him.
Well, and Murphy's kind of hit or miss. Now
Yeah,
he got hot. I mean, he got hot in the playoffs last year, but I mean, he's just kind of a hit or miss guy. If Bryce Harper's supposed to be that thumper, you have to give him some consistent help. Like a Nelson Cruz would be perfect there.
that
You
would
know,
be
if you
great.
get
That would be great. And the fact that I mean, let's be honest. Bryce Harper is when you put your money on Bryce Harper as your big bat, and this dude steps up against anybody that's even sort of an ace or an epic or a what we call him, a
uh,
great pitcher.
yes,
He
elite
strikes out
pitcher.
against him. Dude, no. I mean, look, that lineup is a joke. Everything about the Nationals is a joke. I mean, do they even still have Strasburg? I don't even know.
Yeah, they do.
And okay, and there's your second biggest joke. You know what? They're like Bozo the Clown. That whole team is just stupid. Dude, who runs that team? The government. The government runs that team. That's the reason why they suck.
So yeah, I mean the thing with them, man, if as I said, if Bryce Harper's supposed to be that guy, you have to bring up a bat to help him out. The Nationals have not done that, and like you said, when he faces elite pitchers, and when we say elite, we mean Clayton Kershaw, Madison Bumgarner, uh, Jake Arrieta, dudes like that. He
Tries.
struggles. Strikeouts, like 3 Ks in the
Again,
game against those guys. Zach Greinke. Yeah, I mean, if this is supposed to be your big bat and he's struggling against them, then that means you're going to struggle to score runs.
dude, he didn't hit one time off of DeGrom last year. Maybe once. Maybe a foul ball. Come on,
Yeah.
dude.
Oh, and yeah, I didn't even bring up
DeGrom
those
struck
pictures.
his ass out like 15 million times all season, dude.
And I didn't even I didn't even bring up the pitchers in the division that he has to face with all those guys with the Mets. So, and then the guy from Miami, Jose Fernandez,
Mm-hmm.
he struggled with them too. So, the Nationals, I don't see them doing anything. I would be highly shocked if they even win the division. But yeah, we'll go ahead and check that one off too and give that one to the Mets. So, interesting one right here, Patrick. The NL Central. Who do you have winning that one?
Well, I said it last year. I said they were 1 year away. I didn't stick to my guns. Here they are. They made the moves. They made the right moves. This is the best complete team in MLB right now. Personal opinion. Chicago Cubs, man. I'll give them a hard time. They're the best team right now. I'll give them a hard time because nobody likes a cuddly little bear or whatever. But this right here, this is the team that you're going to have to beat in the NL. I got the Chicago Cubs winning.
Man. All right. So there's another check mark.
Another check mark?
I have the Cubs winning it too, man. The young talent came to play last season, and they improved upon it. So I mean, you have Anthony Rizzo, you have Chris Bryant, uh, Schwartzberger, whatever, the dude who's hitting 500 feet home runs, and
Yeah, his parents must really hated him. I can't
Kyle
pronounce that word.
Schwartzberger, whatever, man. I'm gonna have to Google that.
Schwarzenberger or something.
Yeah, I'll have to Google it. So y'all check my vocabulary. I'm waiting for one of y'all trolls to come through and be like, you can't even say his name right. Whatever. I got y'all. I see y'all. But but yeah, and then Dexter Fowler, they picked up Ben Subris
Yep.
and Jason Hayward. And they got John Lackey. So they got Jason Hayward and John Lackey, both who played for the Cardinals last year. And now they're on the Cubs. That solidifies your lineup and it solidifies your rotation. You put John Lackey in there with Arrieta and Lester. Nice.
Yeah. 3 aces. 3? The only time you've ever seen that was when Atlanta was winning all those in the 90s. And they had 4. So, dude, complete team. Top to bottom. they're going to be hard to beat this year. So I got the Cubs. Yeah.
And when you look at the other teams in the division, man, I mean, I think it's going to be pretty interesting because, I mean, Pittsburgh is still very good. St. Louis is still going to grind and battle, and they just find a way. That's just St. Louis. You can never count them out. And then you have Cincinnati and Milwaukee. Cincinnati, we'll see with Cincinnati. If that pitching can come together, we'll see. We'll see with Cincinnati because they still have Joey Votto. They still have Brandon Phillips in that lineup. They still have some pop in the lineup. I think losing Todd Frazier will hurt. But, I mean, he left last year. He got traded last year. But
I don't think it'll hurt as much as they had the buffer for last year. I don't think it's going to hurt this year as much as it did the initial blow when he got traded. I mean, I like Cincinnati. I really do, and I'll talk about them here in a minute in the wild card.
All right. Well, then, so we got another checkout mark for the Cubs. NL West. Who do you have winning that?
Well, the only thing that'll stop this team from winning is if Taylor Swift doesn't put out another video or another album. I got the Giants, man. I got San Francisco.
That Taylor Swift curse.
Taylor Swift curse, man. If he puts out a CD, they're World Series bound, dude, and they'll probably win. But I just don't see anybody else. The Dodgers lost Greinke, so Dodgers has no pitching rotation whatsoever. Colorado, the entire team, including the management, including the water boy, including the fans, it's hit or miss. Colorado is like the LA Lakers of baseball, man. They are so fair weathered. It's just I don't see the Rockies making that leap from what they even did last year. I mean, it would take a miracle for them to be above 500 this year. Arizona, look, Arizona had a 6-3 lead on Chicago earlier, and I think they're in like the fourth inning right now. They had a 6-3 lead, and now they have blown that. It's 8-6 Chicago. So Arizona is probably that's going to be the story of their life.
Middle relief.
They're gonna be up 14-0 in the bottom of the ninth, and they're gonna lose 15-14.
Middle relief is a big time weakness for Arizona.
Yeah, they got some good bats. I mean, they could put up some runs. Problem is they can't stop the other team from putting up runs, though. That's the problem. And dude, San Diego, come on, they got a nice city, but they got a sucky ass team. No, Giants, man, Giants should win that one pretty easily.
Yep. Wow, Patrick. I think we got a check mark on all 6 divisions.
Seriously?
Yes.
Oh my God, that's like I've known you for 10 years, dude. And that's the first time that's ever happened.
I know. My goodness. Yeah. I have the Giants winning the division too because they made some improvements to their lineup and their pitching. You bring Johnny Cueto into the starting rotation. Put him with Madison Bumgarner and those other dudes.
And Lichicum? Woo. Yeah, it's pretty nasty.
Yes.
And you have to also, for the people that don't know about San Francisco and their pitching and how they do, Lichicum comes in all over the place. This dude is like known for being a starter one day, middle relief the next, and close a game the next. So with just him, they have like all kinds of crazy pitching duos and trios in that freaking lineup. So I like San Francisco. So
well, with the depth they have now, I mean, Lynchcomb, they could easily move him into the bullpen easily. I mean, you bring Cueto in there to pitch with Bumgarner, and you get a healthy Matt Cain back. And remember, Matt Cain was very good. Matt Cain was the ace of that rotation until he got hurt, and Madison Bumgarner just stepped up and took the role. But if you get him back, with Bumgarner and Cueto in there. That rotation's looking real nasty. You can move Lynchcomb, like you said, anywhere within the pitching staff. And the lineup, I mean, they made some subtle improvements. The big thing with the Giants in their lineup, they have to stay healthy. Now, if there is an injury in that lineup, that's where they could struggle to score runs. But if they can get a healthy Buster Posey, a healthy Hunter Pence, and some of those other guys, if they can stay healthy, yeah, the Giants, I think that will give them just enough punch to score some runs and help that rotation out. Like you said, with the Dodgers losing Greinke, I think that's a pretty big loss. They picked up Scott Kashmir to try to lessen that blow a little bit, but he's just not as good as Zach Greinke. And the Dodgers lineup, inconsistent. We know the names. They have a lot of big names in the lineup, but can they consistently put up runs? That I don't know. And they really didn't improve themselves from the team last year. So, no, I don't see the Dodgers winning the division. And then, like you mentioned, Arizona, middle relief issues. San Diego's terrible, and Colorado is a step above terrible. So, yeah, San Francisco.
Nice. Wow.
All right. Well, wild cards. Got in the wild cards.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm same as the AL, man. I got both the wild cards coming out of the same division. Not the East this time. It's the Central. With Chicago winning that division, I'm going with the Pirates and Pirates to take the first wild card. This is where I struggle because you got St. Louis, who is a grind out team. They're always in it. They know how to play small ball, and they get the wins when they need them, and they beat teams who they're supposed to beat, and they even beat teams that they're not supposed to beat. How do you pick against this team? You know what I mean? But like you said earlier, they got a bat and they got a pitcher that they lost to the Chicago Cubs. So we've already discussed that Chicago's winning the Central. But I like the Cincinnati Reds team, man. I want to go with Cincinnati. Everything's telling me to go with Cincinnati, except for the fact that St. Louis is always right there. So I mean, I don't know. I want to go with I want to go with Cincinnati, but see, I've been thinking about this for like 2 days. They're like 2 days in 2 weeks. I was like, I think I'm gonna go with Cincinnati. Now 2 days, like, I think I'm gonna go with St. Louis. I'm gonna give St. Louis that second experience, man. They got the coaching to get them there. Cincinnati does not. But Cincinnati's got the players. Shit, hold on. Yeah, I'll go with St. Louis. I'll go with St. Louis. This is killing me. I want to go with Cincinnati.
Well, man, here's the thing, man. Now we talk mess about those other teams, the Nationals and the Dodgers, and them being a little bit garbage. With that said, they'll win their share of games. They will. Yeah. Because both of those teams, the Nationals and Dodgers I'm talking about, we just talked about the depth in those divisions. They will beat those teams a lot. You look at the Dodgers they have the Rockies, the Padres, and the Diamondbacks in that division. They will get some wins against those guys. And
probably most of them.
Yeah, and we know that division is between them and the Giants, or that in our opinions. In the NL East, the Nationals, they will get their share of wins over the Marlins, the Braves, and the Phillies. We know that division is pretty much between them and the Mets, but we have the Mets and the Giants winning those divisions respectively. They will compile some wins. If they can get some wins over those teams that we said would win the division, they could get one of those wild cards. Now, I do think Pittsburgh will be one of those wild cards.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh, just a solid team, man. They're just kind of there to where they're not quite in that elite range, man. I just want to see Pittsburgh get a bat. Get a bat to help Andrew McCutchen out. That's all I want to see. If they can get that, I could put Pittsburgh right there with the Cubs. Personally, I think I could put them right there with the Cubs in terms of a team that could win the World Series. They have pitching, they have the closers, they have a good lineup, but Andrew McCutchen is that guy. He's that pop. Just like what we said about Bryce Harper. If you're gonna have that dude in the middle, give him some help. Get that man some help. Get him a bat to where he can see more pitches. But man, Patrick, I'm gonna check it off again, and I'm gonna put St. Louis in that second wild card too, man. It's hard for me to get. It's hard for me to go against St. Louis, man. They just grinded too many wins out.
Yeah, it's hard, man. But I mean, if a team can beat St. Louis out of that second wild card, I think it could be Cincinnati.
Cincinnati's interesting. If that young pitching can come together, then Cincinnati can definitely make a push for it. I think they have enough pop in the lineup, especially playing in the ballpark there, the Great American Ballpark there in Cincinnati, where the ball it jumps out of the stadium there, jumps out. So Cincinnati can score some runs. That pitching, that's the question I have about Cincinnati. Can they score or can they stop enough people to get some wins? If they can challenge St. Louis, but hard to go against St. Louis. So yeah, Patrick, I think I'm a little bit sure than you are about St. Louis, man. I think St. Louis is getting there.
I like Cincinnati, but I'm rolling with St. Louis.
Well, all right. Well,
what's that? 9 out of 10 teams we agree on?
I know, that's crazy. Yeah, I think 8. No, yeah, it is 9. You're right. The only one we disagreed with was the AL wild card.
Yep.
Wow, that's crazy, man. That's scary.
Well, I don't know. We might have. I honestly think we might have the same
World Series picks.
We might.
Who's yours?
Well, dude, I got Chicago and Texas, dude.
No, Patrick, no, it did never check mark. Me too. Me too. That's why it's another check mark. My goodness.
Chicago and Texas, man. I mean, I look up and down, and I just don't see any other teams that can challenge these two teams. Now, I got Boston winning their division, and they could make a legitimate with what they have. They can make a legitimate run and win. But Texas just has depth, and they got a shit ton of it. They made all the right trades last year. They picked up a few people in the offseason, and they're literally one person away from tying Chicago with the best team in MLB. But yeah, I guess Chicago and Texas, man.
Remember, man, they're getting you Darvish back, and that's the thing, man. That lineup is potent. Prince Fielder, him being healthy, huge. We know if Adrian Beltre, if Adrian Beltre can play, let's give him 66% of the games. If he can play 66% of the games, then that gives him that pop in there. With Prince Fielder, Mitch Moreland's underrated with his bat. The Rangers have a very, very dangerous lineup that can put up runs in a hurry, and then with that pitching staff, Kansas City is going to be difficult to deal with in the American League, man, because I mean they have that chip on their shoulders, and now their people have come back. Lorenzo Cain, Eric Hosmer, Salvador Perez. very, very deep roster they have in Kansas City, a roster that can sustain for a while because a lot of those guys are in their mid to late 20s. So Kansas City is going to be there for a while if they keep that group together. But yeah, I agree. I got Texas coming out of there, and I think they'll beat the Rangers in the American League I think the Rangers will beat the Royals in the American League Championship Series.
Yeah. It may take them 7 games, but they'll get
yes, yeah, 6 or 7 games, definitely. And then in the National League, I think it comes down to the Mets and Cubs, man. I do. I think the Giants will make a push just because of the simple fact it's an even year. But
it comes down to the Cubs and Cubs. I think the only way the Cubs lose is if they beat themselves. It comes down to the Cubs and Cubs.
Man, the Mets pitching though, man, and they have a potent lineup too. If David Wright can stay healthy for the Mets with Duda, and you know they got Yosemite Cespedes in there. So, I mean, the Mets are good. They are very good, and when you can run DeGrom, Syndergaard, Harvey, and Steven Matz out there, they can get with anybody. It will not be easy to get with the Mets. And shoot, they're not going to fear the Cubs. They swept the Cubs last year. So they're not going to fear the Cubs. The Cubs, they made those moves. I like those moves they made. I think they will beat the Mets in the National League Championship Series that they beat. I think they get revenge there. And Patrick, for my winner, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do this, man. I don't know.
We can take some time on this one.
Okay.
But personally, I got the Cubs. I got the Cubs World Series champions.
So the Cubs breaking this 108-year drought, 1908.
It's time. It's time, dude. I got the Cubs. If they shit on my face, dude, I'd be pissed. But I got the Cubs. I got the Cubs. And literally, this is going to take. I will guarantee it. If I'm right, and Chicago meets Texas in the World Series, this will take every bit of 7 games. And I'm talking down to the bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, 2 men on base, that kind of game. It's going to take all 7 games. It's going to take all 9 innings, and don't be surprised, not one time, if not 4, maybe 5 of those games go into extra innings.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I think it'll be a highly contested series myself, man. It'll be really interesting. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Yeah, I have the Cubs too. I think the Cubs do break that drought. But you know me, Patrick. One thing I'll say, bring up, I've been kind of on that train ever since they got Theo Epstein and Joe Madden in there to start running them. As soon as they got those guys in there, I'm like, Patrick, the Cubs are coming now.
Yeah, and I told you as soon as they got them, you were like, here they are. And I said, 2, maybe 3 years. Here we are. 3. This is 3. Here they are. I'm on that train. I didn't agree. I didn't disagree with you. I said, if anybody's going to break that curse, it's going to be these 2 right here. And I said, if they're going to do it, they're not going to do it in their first 2 years. They'll get it on their 3rd. And if they don't get it on their 3rd, they'll definitely get it on their 4th. I got them winning. There you go. Boom. Year 3. Here I am. I didn't go back on my word like I did last year. I'm sticking with it. I'm going with the Cubs.
Well, all right, Patrick. Well, so there we go. So we both have the Rangers and Cubs, and the Cubs winning. So, real quick before we wrap this show up, man, let's bring up a mention to the national championship game in college basketball from Monday night. Great game. I don't know if you caught it. I caught it, and man, great game, man. Give Villanova credit. Big time 3 made by Chris Jenkins at the end.
Who doesn't shoot 3s?
Yeah, I mean,
well, he does now, but he didn't used to.
Yeah, yeah, because he improved his range big time, and that was just a well-designed play. They caught North Carolina with, napping. Honestly, they didn't pick up the trailer because he was trailing the play. They were trying to go with the point guard Archidienimo all the way through, and then he just came up behind and popped it. Rhythm three, and hit it to win the game.
And
And
he
that
had
was
nothing to lose. He had nothing to lose. The game was tied.
mm-hmm.
Throw it up.
And that was after that three Marcus Page hit. That double clutch three he hit.
Oh, yeah, dude. Which to me was actually a little better than the game. Yeah, it was the game-winning three, but that double clutch three, dude,
it was sick.
That was a dagger, dude. I think that was a huge dagger, dude.
It was sick. It was a sick shot. But yeah, give Villanova credit there for winning the title. I didn't see them winning a title, but hey, that's the beauty of the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
You have one game. Yep, single elimination, and anything can happen in those type of scenarios. So give Villanova credit for winning the title, and for the first title since 1985, they won. So give credit to Jay Wright too, man, because Jay Wright he's been a very good coach for a while, but everybody was saying he couldn't win the big game, couldn't get his team to the point where they could compete for a national title, and now he has one.
Well, now they can suck it because now he has one.
Exactly. Well, Patrick, we'll wrap this one up. So, like the page, subscribe to the page, continue to watch. Let us know what you think about these picks for the baseball season. We have a lot of stuff coming up, Patrick. NBA playoffs start a week from Saturday. NHL playoffs start Wednesday. So those preview shows will be our big nuggets next week. So we'd like for you guys to tune in, check it out, watch it. Let us know what you think when we put those picks out there for them. Is there anything else I'm missing, Patrick, before we go? You know the usual stuff. We're still trying to work on all the other stuff, but
yeah, life is like
coming at us.
Coming at it, man. A couple, helping my wife do her business, me doing my own thing now. It's like one thing after another, man. So, but yeah, we're definitely getting on it. So keep your ear out, keep your eyes out. We're definitely gonna get on it, and when we do, watch out.
Look out, world. Look out. Well, all right. Well, everybody enjoy the sports that's going on. I said NHL, NBA closing out the seasons. The Spurs are playing the Warriors right now, and then they will play each other on Sunday down in San Antonio. So everybody enjoy the weekend, and we will be back next week. Take care.